let's continue on here. Units in Daibanchou. Oh, I'm audio. Units in Daibanchou can have two abilities. They all have a default attack, and all of them, I think all of them, besides the generic units, can get a unique ability. Roga, in his case, we'll see it much later on. It's a preemptive, powerful strike, and it uses more stamina than usual. Saynay's ability is it uses the same amount of stamina as her regular attack, but it cuts her attack in half and won't kill an enemy unit. So it makes it easier to capture enemy units later on in the game, which is really hard to do if you don't have someone like that, actually. So Saynay is going to be used a lot because of that. I mean, I don't really like her, but she's one of the few units in the game who has a really good capture enemy kind of ability. So that's how that goes. That's what she's used for. Yuki has an ability that avoids combat. It's called Boom, and it prevents him from being attacked at all, and it prevents the enemy from attacking. Really, really good if you want to dodge a powerful enemy unit, or if you're wasting time on defense, things like that. So I usually deploy him on defense, and Heita's ability is Guts, and it basically makes it so that he will always survive with 1 health. Unless he has 1 health, you know, then he's still gonna die. And units do die when they run out of health. There is no maybe they lived, maybe they didn't. You know, it's straight up dead. That's how that goes. Makes the game harder. But this item I'm getting here is, you know, it's called a suspicious box, and it does what it says right there. It marks all important events on the map with a star. And I've played through the game several times, and I always pick it up. It's really helpful. I don't know. You should definitely get it if you haven't. If you haven't played the game before, you definitely want to pick it up. Extremely helpful. I mean, you're limited on how many turns you can actually, you know, do things in the regional phase. So having that to tell you what is meaningful is great. So, there you have it. But, yeah, I'm just talking to people here. Not really trying to cover anything important with them. I'm just talking to them to, I guess, get further along in their whatever. Usually a star per character. There are 5 stars for their character clear. 1 star usually requires about three goes at conversation like this, and then you'll get it. That's usually how that goes. Heita has one of those. Yuki has one of those. Oh yeah, I call her Saynay because I knew someone by that name, and it was spelled the same way. Just so you know, I know it's pronounced Saynay, but habit is greater than whatever I'm ignoring. So that's how that goes. But Roga is kind of Heita's role model, I guess. Yeah, basically that's what he is. I was kind of reluctant to go there, but that's what he is. I don't know. You know, I'll have Heita throughout the whole game. Oh, something important though. If a character dies, I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna keep going. Ooh, Heita will never die because of his ability. You know, I always know when, you know, he's looking bad because he always survives with 1 health. So I'm not gonna have him attack again when he's got 1 health and he could die. It's as simple as that. But you know, he won't ever die. Other people can. People like Saynay and Roga, if they die, it's an obvious game over. But more about that later on. The last couple bits of things related to combat I'll be explaining in this phase are hit and evasion. They're kind of obvious. Yuki has really high hit, but his evasion is 0. He can still evade attacks. It's just so unlikely that, my god, you know? It's really unlikely he would evade an attack. So there you are. And they don't cross over the same way. Like, hit and evasion are obviously directly related. Roga has really high hit, and his evasion is okay. But, like, if someone had 100 evasion and the person attacking them had 100 hit, their evasion is still way, way unbalanced compared to that hit. 100 hits pretty good, but 100 evasion is really good. So that's how that goes. I'm really not sure how they go with each other, but they're not direct transitions, or whatever. But this is the first H scene you get. It's really not good. I don't like it at all. It involves Akito, you know, the guy you're trying to fight. So this is really the first time that you see him, and of course I had to skip it there. I'll try to include all the H scenes that, you know, I don't have to censor. Like, if there are no tits, the game censors everything else on its own, you know. It'll censor the dick and the other stuff, which changes from time to time. Oh, that sounded bad, didn't it? Tentacle appendages, vaginas. Yeah, I guess that's really all. It'll censor that shit for me, but now you know. I'm not gonna leave the whole scene. I'm still gonna fast forward it. I just won't censor it, I guess. Yeah. That's how that goes. So you know how it goes. But this is the Yamazaki Stronghold, this shitty room thing with a huge cigarette ashtray in the middle. Yeah. And I keep forgetting to move my mouse down to a corner. Sorry. Yeah. But this is the place where Akito kind of hides, and my opinions on Akito are... This is going to surprise people who are watching right now. He's in my top 10 favorite characters in the game. Because you see him later on, you know. He's a douchebag. He's a fucking idiot right now. He's an asshole. You're trying to beat him because look at how he treats people. But later on he becomes he can become a more important character later on in the game if you do some stuff, and I will. I'll do that stuff for Akito. So yeah. But he's a cool character later on. He's not right now. Yeah. That's all you need to know for now, until we get to the death match with him. That's quite a ways down the road. This is Francine, as you can see. Not a very Japanese name. But she is the Shadokan nurse. That's her role. And I really do appreciate Daibanchou for having a Shadokan and a Lolicon. And having them not be the same person because, you know, that always creates problems. And it's always guys who are portrayed as being the worst perverts imaginable when it's not always the only case, you know. So I like that they would include a pervert woman, you know. People have to agree with me here. I mean, I know I'm not alone, but I recruited her the first time that I played, and that's a mistake. She's much worse than the male teacher. Much worse. She's a short-range fighter, and that's part of the problem. You get a lot of really strong short-range fighters. In comparison, there are very few strong long-range fighters. So, if she fulfilled a different role like that, it might be a little better. She has a good ability. It increases the capture rate of enemy units later on in the game. That's good and all, but I wouldn't recruit Francine. I recruited her because I thought it would lead to more, you know, H scenes. That's why I recruited her. Maybe I was feeling particularly amorous that day, I don't know. But that's how it went. Shortly after this scene, there's an H scene with Francine and Yuki. I don't like it, you know. I don't like it at all. Not at all, but maybe you do. Or you will, I guess, if you haven't seen it. So, but yeah, you have to choose between Francine, the Shadokan, and I don't remember his name. But he's the Lolicon, and of course I said that I'll be picking him. His ability is much better than Francine's, in my opinion as well. But whatever. And they both have H scenes. Both of the teachers have H scenes, you know. Francine has a Shotokan orgy, and the other guy does some lolly stuff, you know, I'm assuming, because I haven't actually gotten his scene yet. But, you know. But don't spoil it for me either in the comments. If you do, I'm gonna be mad. I mean, I can still hope that it's like Francine has a requirement for her character clear that it's all the manly men. You have to have Francine along with all the really manly men of the game. The Lolicon teacher requires all the lollies in the game to be in your army. So I'm hoping that it's a little, you know, well, I'm not going to elaborate, but it's obvious what I'm hoping for. And I know that it's unrealistic and that it's not the case. Anyway, I don't like these guys. Rogue can go right now. He has 16 attack, Rogue has got 23 health. Worst case scenario, Rogue still makes it out, you know? And then I gotta let him rest. He dodged anyway, so he can one-shot both of these guys. Good stuff. And for those of you in the know I haven't explained, I guess type advantages yet, and I will, but later on. So, we'll get to that, don't worry about it. Oh, and on these scenes, I know I'm talking through it right now, but later on when I get new people, I won't talk over them like this, and I'll let you hear what they have to say. I know what a few of them are saying. I can translate it for you, but it's a few, you know, it's not a lot. I don't know a whole bunch of them. I know the easy ones that you also probably know, so that's how that goes. But I'll try and figure them all out for you later on. So you get that. Yeah, it's kind of weird because I forget that they talk, you know? I forget that they talk, and, well, you know, oh, this is the boxer guy, Yamamoto Barai. He's the one that you would choose instead of Kineko, the lolly with a doll. You gotta choose between them, and I would say if you're new to the game and you want it to be a little easier, I'd pick Barai because he can survive way more easily than Kineko. Way more easily. Both of them have easy character clears. You don't really have to do much for them, but his is he's just a little better in general, I think. He's a more general fighter than Kineko is. Now we'll go meet Francine, I guess. Barai's secondary ability allows him to dodge anything with a 100% chance. So that's what I mean by he has a higher survivability chance. Whereas Kineko, she has, let me... well, there's the voice acting you were looking for. Let me skip through it a bit here. That was the H scene with Francine and Yuki. But Kineko's ability is perfect hit. So she always hits something with 100% chance. Unless she's killed or she's unable to counter, you know. No one can dodge her. That's what's up. So this scene right here, you have to get that H scene with Francine and Yuki. That's required. You need to do that, and then you choose who you want to recruit, the nurse or the pervert teacher. Also, I'll be getting their, like, rejection scenes, I suppose. Like, when I recruit the Lolicon teacher, I'll go and try to recruit Francine, and then Francine will turn me down because he's with me. You know, when I recruit Kineko, well, it's required for you to see Barai's declination, you know. That's how that goes. Oh, and, the rooftop girls and the two blue-haired siblings, when you choose one of those over the other group joins Akito's, you know, army, I guess you could call it. So, when I recruit the two blue-haired girls, that girl from the roof and her gang will become my enemies, and I'll have to fight them. But, here we are. This is the Lolicon. Ijin Tamari. There we are. Yeah. I don't know, he looks kind of cool to me. His ability is Scout, and it's really, really good. It enables you to see every enemy action in battle, you know, instead of every other, so I'll always know who I'm going to be fighting. So, yeah. There are a lot of abilities like that, too, that are useful. It's a passive ability. It's his secondary ability. It's Tamari's secondary ability, but it's passive, and it works without him having to do anything. There are quite a few abilities like that, and they are handy. Very handy. More on them later as we see more of them. yeah. But Yuki is not a good fighter. Though Yuki has a badass dodge animation. I'll tell you that right now. He barely ever dodges, but when he does, he just like sits cross-legged and looks at the person he dodged like, you know what? Fuck you. That's what he looks like. And it's cool. A lot of the characters with low dodge rates have those kinds of dodge animations, now that I think about it. Huh. Alright. But, yeah, I'm just talking to them now so you can see which one you like more, I suppose. I mean, you don't have to speak to them in this phase. You can skip it. You don't have to do any of the phases. You can skip them. It's just always a bad idea. So, there you are. I'm trying to decide whether or not to tell you guys about Yuki or whether or not you care, but I'll save it for a little later into the playthrough. Yuki has, like, 2 characters, almost. I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it, but there's not really one. So, I don't know why I brought any of that up. I don't know what my goal was. Heita actually has 2 of those as well, so I'll just save them all, and you'll see them as I progress in the game. But if you want to get Yuki's special secondary self, you need to recruit Francine. So I won't be doing it, obviously. As I said, I'll be recruiting Tamari. Roga's got a rest, but everybody else is good to go. And I don't think that I mentioned it before. Pulling somebody off of the map allows them to heal. It recovers their health super fast, and it gives them 2 stamina back per turn that they're not doing anything. If you leave them on the field, they still regain health and stamina, but it's way less. Like, they regain 1 stamina, which isn't bad, but they only regain like 2 health per turn, so that's terrible, and you don't want to be in that situation. So, if someone's hurt as bad as Roga was, you just pull him off and you let it go. You let him heal for a turn. And, of course, I'm using Heita to attack all of these long-range units because his counter chance is super high. Even though his evasion is not good, he's still going to attack, you know? Heita is probably one of the most reliable units you will get in the entire game. And that's the truth. And that's kind of what Barai is. He's really reliable. You know, Barai, Heita, Roga, they're all very reliable units, but they don't shine really brightly, you know? Well, Roga does. So, you know. But Kineko, she's just a powerhouse, and I'll show you that when I recruit her, which will be probably in the next part. Yeah. So that's how that goes. But this scene here, Barai is basically being asked to fight, you know, indirectly by Akito. I don't even know if Akito knows about Barai, or if it's just Akito's subordinates getting shit done, because Akito doesn't do anything. He just sits in his club room banging people, unenthusiastically. Like, I didn't say it when the H scene with Akito played, but he's just sitting there with his hand on his chin like, oh, yep, I guess this is what it is. He doesn't even care. And the girl that he's having sex with isn't important. You don't ever see her again. So, now you know. But, yeah. Barai looks like Brock from Pokemon. Just saying. Oh, and now they're introducing the other characters you choose from. Like I said, there are a bunch of character decisions you have to make fairly early on. This girl is, well, let me think about how to explain this. She's a horrible unit, really awful, and her counterpart is really awful too. But both of them have like an upgrade sequence later on in the game. But this woman here with the pink hair comes with a disadvantage, which I'll explain later. But she's a mid-range fighter, and she appeals to gym suit fetishes, I guess. I don't know. I personally, like, I look at what she's wearing and it disgusts me. I don't know why. It's just, I don't like that clothing. The other girl is wearing those elementary swimsuits. I don't remember what they're called, like Tsukizumis or something. Hopefully I didn't get it totally wrong, but shit. But I'll be recruiting the one in the swimsuit. More or less because I like her character design more and things like that. You'll see her in the next part, and I'll see you there as well.